Ah, oh, excuse me. Ugh. Why is this open? Oh, that does not need to be open. Um. All right. Audio is working. Hide the taskbar just because it makes a cleaner looking stream. We're gonna go over to desktop. I'm gonna go boop, boop. We're gonna go continuing. I don't know how to spell continue. Continue. In? There we go. My fucking brain shut off. Continuing to sack Mal. Okay, cool. All right, let's go over here. And no webcam tonight, because I had just woken up from a nap and my bed is not made, and I didn't want to make my bed. And y'all don't need to see my unmade bed. How about that? Hello, everyone. I am Sacrobelic. Welcome to the worst thing I make. We are going through every anime made from spring 1990 to fall 1990. That's it. That's the show. All right. We had the stream go down last time when we did winter, and I looked back and we did Nadia and we did Night Ramoon, and we did Sweetman, right? So we're gonna pick up from Idol Tenshi, Yokoso Yoko. Idol Angel, welcome Yoko. A young girl and her flying squirrel go to Tokyo in hopes of becoming an idol seeker. On the way, she meets another girl who wants to become an actress, and together they work to achieve their dreams. Sounds delightful. Next up is Mashin Iuden Wataru 2. Spirit Hero Wataru 2. I can't help but notice that we've officially gotten far enough in this series that we're starting to get anime with actual English titles now. This is the sequel to Mashin Iuden Wataru first season. Wataru has been lived happily. Oh, this is always delightful. This is always delightful when the grammar's fucked up. Wataru has been lived happily on Earth after he defeated Daokudar. When he plays around with his friend, Ryujinmaru appears and asks him to fight again. It appears that the Seven Stars Mountain, the source of Mount Sokai's rainbow, have been taken over by by Daokudar, which is Daokudar's brother. If all the stars mountain loses their brightness, Mount Sokai's rainbow will fade and everyone will live in darkness for eternity. Once again, Wataru has to go through all the seven stars system and destroy this new, stronger enemy. Delightful. And this is a sequel to Spirit Warrior Wataru, which came out in 1989. Alright, moving on. That sounds god-awful. To Gatapishi, which is based on the comedy manga by Sonoyama Shunji. And despite the fact that we know it's based on a manga, there is no link to the manga. Longest anime by episode count, 51 to 100, 200 episodes? Where does this place? Number 200? No, seriously. Actually, you know what? Shout out to Avery Rhodes 2003. Let's find out where this place is. So Dr. Slump would be 100, right? So what are we looking at? We're looking at Pishi Pishi? That can't be true. Yeah, Dr. Slump has more. So So wait, does this motherfucker start at 100? Oh god, that's... Yeah, this motherfucker starts at 100. Okay, you know what? Fine. Alright, Dr. Slump's 51. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 60. Oh, this isn't in any order at all because this is Do Re Mi right here. Oh, this is nothing. All right, never. You know what? Not shout out to Avery Rhodes 2003. That list is a fucking mess. No O&As. Crazy no O&As came out in 1990. All right. Lados To Senki, Record of Lados War. This is a pretty famous one. I believe this was based on a D&D campaign. Or is it Sword World? It was D&D. I remember I always question whether this is D&D or Sword World, and it is in fact D&D. Created from the aftermath of the last great battle of gods, Lados and its kingdom have been plagued by war for thousands of years. As a quiet peace and unity finally become foreseeable over the land, an unknown evil begins to stir. An ancient witch has awakened, bent on preserving the island of Lados by creating political unbalance throughout the many kingdoms and keeping anyone from maintaining central control. Only a mixed-race party of 6 young champions led by... the young warrior Parn stand between this new threat and Lados' descent back into the darkness of war and destruction. So, this is a weird thing that happens in Japan, but basically there's this idea about writing light novels centered around actual D&D campaigns. I think it started out in an internet format, but eventually it went on to like writing on full-on like novel adaptations of D&D, or more commonly Sword World, but Lados War is specifically D&D. I've looked it up before. Like campaigns that were like played around the tabletop, and so basically this is an anime adaptation of a light novel written about someone's D&D campaign. So that is just a delightful bit of trivia. Anyway, moving on. Cyber City, Oedo 808. I think because I am subscribed to the Retro Crush YouTube channel, and because they sometimes post clips of like some old ass like 80s 90s anime. It's just a fun thing to check out, so you get your eyes like awakened to these like old shit no one cares about anymore. And they recently posted like Cyber City and AD Police, and that's why these are already on my watch list. So they just look like quirky, fun, shitty 80s shows, right? 90s shows, I guess, in this case. It is the year 2808. It's the far future of 2808. These convicts are recruited as members of the cyber police to keep major criminal activity in Oedo, formerly Tokyo, in check. In return, their life sentences will be reduced by a few years for every missions they accomplish. Basically, they're the Suicide Squad. However, to ensure that these convicts are doing their job, the police have secured special collars around their necks. They're the Suicide Squad. If any attempt to remove their collars or they fail to meet the time limit of their mission, the collars will self-destruct. This is fucking Suicide Squad. Now we can play Maid Has Seen It. The favorite game. What Maid? How are you doing? No webcam tonight because I just woke up from a nap and my bed isn't made and I don't want my unmade bed to show on my webcam. Ha! And I was too lazy to make my bed. I'm aware that would just be a... AD Police is an alternate setting for Bubblegum Crisis? I was not aware of that. Okay. It's the far future of 2027 in Mega Tokyo, 6 years before the Night Sabers will make their debut. Okay, now hold on. If it's 6 years before the Night Sabers make their debut, is this a fucking alternate setting to Bubblegum Crisis, or is this just a prequel to Bubblegum Crisis? Boomers, artificial humans, are still relatively new advancement, and the implementation and integration of boomers into society is still a bit buggy. Like it fucking wasn't in Bubblegum Crisis? Sometimes fatally so. Whenever a boomer incident occurs, though, there is advanced police, a special force trained to deal with boomer crimes. Leon McNichol, is that right? McNichol is a rookie in the AD Police and is just starting to become exposed to the horrors and tragedies one finds every day in Mega Tokyo. He and his veteran partner, Gina Mauricio, slowly learn about the ever-fading line that separates man from machine. The concept of, like, super cyborg, police force reminds me of Cyberpunk. What are they called in Cyberpunk? They're called Max Tech. Is it Max Tech? Am I thinking of Max Tech? Max Tech. What are they called? Max something. And for the yeah, I think it is Max Tech. Yeah, Maximum Force Tactical Division. Yeah, yeah. The idea of like anti like super cyborg crimes reminds me of Max Tech from Cyberpunk. To be clear about Max Tech and Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk role playing game, like the original tabletop, is actually pretty old. Oh no, first edition was in 1992. No, so actually, AD Police is older. The more you know. Okay, that's cool. Maybe honestly, maybe this is where he got the idea from. Initially planned for more episodes, production ceased after episode 3 due to falling out between Artmic and Yomex. Following the bankruptcy of Artmic, Anime International Company, AIC, and Yomex took on the company's debts, which in turn AIC would gain most of the IPs and other associated copyrights held by Armtech. Since December 2015, the AD Police IP, along with some of the other IPs held by AIC, have been transferred to AIC rights. In North America, the series is licensed by Annie Migo, who first released the series in 1993 on VHS and Laserdisc in Japanese and English subtitles. In 2015, Animigo launched a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter to re-release the series remastered on Blu-ray with a planned release date sometime in 2016. Sorry, you're fine. You're grinding. Early P3 gives very little experience. Yeah, that was definitely an issue with P3, was the experience rates. I remember that. Shin Captain Tsubasa. I feel like we've already talked about Shin Captain Tsubasa. Didn't we? We definitely did, right? Shin Captain Tsubasa takes place at the International Junior Youth Tournament UAC in Paris after defeating Argentina Junior. Yeah, we read this. We for sure read this. We read this last time. There's no other reason I would have read anything about Captain Tsubasa. I do not give a shit about football. This is Ryo Kunohara. Let me try that again. This is Ryo Kunohara Mei Q. Hiroki and Kaneda have been together since they were children. One day, Hiroki is caught up in an accident while trying to save a little girl. The next thing he knows, he's looking down on his own body. Separated from his body, Kaneda and everything else, he tries to figure out what is going on. Why is he outside his body, which is living as if nothing has changed? How can he convince Kaneda that he is there? And who is the strange girl, Fahale, who keeps appearing for him? That actually sounds kind of interesting, but I feel like there's not enough to go on. I noticed a weird emulation glitch in the port. Sometimes running around certain spots cause the floor to spaz out and spin for a second. Oh, it probably has to do with, is the game in widescreen? They're probably forcing the game in widescreen and the camera slamming into the walls. Excuse me. Hiroki and Kanata have been together since they were children. One day, Hiroki is. We already read that. This manga is the 7th book in the Ryo Konohara series. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it does sound kind of. You have it set to full screen. Yeah, it might be that it's like slamming into the walls. This sounds kind of interesting. This isn't very well regarded. You know what? I think I'm down. I think I'm down. And the reason I'm down is because there's only one episode and it's 40 minutes long. If it was, I think, any longer than that... this is the greatest name for an anime I've ever seen in 1990, which is just, god damn. God damn is a car racing anime based on the manga by Kaoru Shintani that serialized in Big Comic Superior from 1988 to 1990. This is the most... There's literally a man named Dick Van Dyke in this. This is fucking great. I love it. Oh, I almost want to watch this. I almost want to watch this for no reason other than if people go through my anime list, they'll say I've watched something called Goddamn. You know what? That one thought, that one thought sold it. I have some smoothing on without the PS2 version, but my PS3, I want something about it to be different than the two PS2 copies I own. I mean, I can't have enough P3. Oh, this is SD Gundam Gaiden. In 1990, Bandai produced the 4-episode OVA series SD Gundam Gaiden, directed by Tetsuro Amino, Macross 7 SD Gundam Counterattack. This series is set in the medieval fantasy world Sudadoka. Didn't we already read this? Okay, I'll keep going, just in case. Once popular Gundam characters such as Amaru Ray and Char Aznable were featured in the series along with fantasy-style versions of well-known mobile suits. In this series, the heroic Knight Gundam and his companion must protect Suda Dohaka from the evils of Satan Gundam and Sig Zeon. Much of the series is set in the kingdom of La Croya, which is featured in several SD productions, including the 2003 series SD Gundam Force. As is the case with the older SD productions, SD Gundam Gaiden isn't available in the US. I can't have enough RE4. I pre-ordered RE4 Remake. I have not done that. I think I'm a little less interested in the RE4 Remake than I was in, like, the 2 and 3 remakes. Alright. Now, having actually watched Gundam, I have to say that I think the concept of Gundam in the medieval time period is quite possibly the least interesting thing you could do with Gundam. Because Gundam being, like, the pioneer of the real robo genre, like, the main draw of it, Gundam, is the hardcore military sci-fi drama, right? And, like, I guess you could have military sci-fi drama in the Middle Ages, but then, like, why? Like, what's the benefit, right? Because, like, the Middle Ages technology cannot possibly keep up with a fucking with a fucking mobile suit, right? Like, if a fucking mobile suit, any mobile suit, right? Any mobile suit at all, even a fucking Zaku, were to appear in the Middle Ages, that goddamn Zaku would... You could conquer you could conquer a fucking country with one goddamn Zaku. Alright? Is what I'm saying to you. Like, what is the point of Gundam in the Middle Ages? Okay, this is... Anyway, yeah, that is a classic problem with, like, PS4, is that... My god, unless you have, like, an external hard drive hooked up to that fucker, the PS4 has so low amount of storage. Like, 3 games will fill up your whole storage. Excuse me. This is Yagami-kun no Kate no Jijo. Well, in short, the mother looks like she's 14 and the kid is openly in love with her. Lowly ex-Mothercon, his teacher too, is in love with her mother. And so the love rivals duke it out in classroom, as well as plotting the downfall of their common enemy, his father! Yes! The father has a secretary who's in love with him, but once she discovered that he is such a young wife, she turned her attention to his son, who is now torn between his own mother and a naive motorbike riding girlfriend. Yes! Fuck yes! Are you kidding me? No, I didn't drop it. I'm gonna watch the shit out of that. That is a... Yes! This is why we make this show. When people say, Zach, why do you make this show? Nobody likes it. I like it. This is fucking amazing. Alright, this is Burning Blood. Ryo Takagi is a trumpet player. I somehow didn't expect this to start with he is a trumpet player. He is a trumpet player on the verge of hitting it big with his band, but he's also a natural fighter whose blood starts burning when he fights seriously. This gave him the nickname BB, Burning Blood, after suffering absolute defeat at the hands of a young man named Jin Moriyama, who happens to be an oboe player. Though Ryo decides to trade in his trumpet for a pair of boxing gloves in order to have a rematch the way Moriyama wants it, in the boxing ring. Little does this OVA tell you that it actually ends with a trumpet fight. Alright, moving the fuck on. Let's go Milky Passion, Do Genzaka I no Shiro. This is based on Milky Passion manga by Morinzo Milk. No further information about this. It's just, that's what this is. This is Lightning Trap Lena and Laika. I feel like I've heard this before. Why have I heard of this? Alright, this is the fourth and final OVA of the Lena-centric Machine Robo Revenge of Kronos spin-off sequels. Instead of following the story of the previous Wolf Sword Legend continuity, Legend and Trap takes place in another universe. In the present Tokyo, traveling has never been more comfortable. And then aboard the Lightning L808, Japan's new luxury passenger plane. One day, on what seemed to be a routine flight, Haruka, Lena, and the passengers, were unaware of the mysterious and top-secret cargo brought aboard, which attracted the attention of international terrorists set on obtaining it. Now with the dangerous hostage situation in hand, only Special Agent Laika Strange and brave Lena may be able to save the passengers and keep the deadly cargo from falling into the wrong hands. I think this could be interesting. I like the aesthetic. I like the character designs here. The thing is, the idea of just, like, there's terrorists on a plane seems a little overdone. So, yeah. A bunch of drug addicts being... earlier I was watching a video about an internet cult. Basically, a bunch of drug addicts being crazy and spewing a bunch of occult stuff and sounding like a bunch of LARPers. These fuckers sound stoned RPG villains. To be fair, that's what most cults sound like. This is Shiratori Raiko de Gozaimasu. I am the Shiratori Raiko. 19-year-old Raiko is a rich, arrogant material girl who refuses to admit her failings to classmate Tetsuya Akimoto before it's almost too late. Raiko pursues him to Tokyo and enrolls at his university in an attempt to win him back. Alright. Classic plotline. They sound like fucking Takia from P3. Timon Blue's Ladies' Hen Mayumi. This sounds relatively familiar to me for some reason. This is Mayumi runs away from home to escape her predatory stepfather, only to be abducted by members of a delinquent motorcycle gang. She's taken under the wing by Noriko, who invites her to move into her apartment. Is this a lesbian thing? Doesn't say it's a lesbian thing. Okay. Finds her a job in the service station and introduces her to the world of motorcycling. The two set up their own all-female gang, the Eight Angels, but soon discover that local male-dominant gangs are hostile to this intrusion on their turf. To be fair, yeah, they would be. Alright, moving on. We have Onimaru Senjo ni Kakeru Itsutsu no Seishun. Well, this just looks bad. This is, during the Onin Wars in Japan's medieval Muramochi era, 5 powerful warriors hire out their services to the highest bidder. Onimaru is the leader, Bo handles demolitions, Saru is agile as a monkey, Osamu is a cool tactician, Kiri is a sexy swordswoman. The group gains an extra member when Onimaru rescues Princess Aya, who naturally falls in love with him and refuses to go away. When was the Muramochi area? Let's find out. The Muramochi era was 1336 to 1573, so it was right before the Sengoku period. And that's where I thought. So this could be anywhere. This could be anywhere. I thought it was right before the Sengoku, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I thought, better look it up, right? Okay, this is Otokogi. After his father leaves when he's very young, Kyosuke Murata grows up under the thumb of his overprotective mother, Shizuko. When he reaches adulthood, he's thrown into the harsh, violent world of Japanese gangland. Is this modern? I was not expecting this to be modern. Is this a delinquent hunting people with a bow? Because that's hilarious. Becomes involved in gang-related crime. He goes up against the Muratagumi organization, only to find that his estranged father is its head. Rising up through the ranks, Kyosuke eventually unites half the gangs in Japan beneath his own leadership, only to find that the other half have combined to resist his new power, starting the greatest gang war in Japanese history. So apparently we have Osamu Yamasaki. What does that name sound familiar? Apparently we are entering into the gang portion of anime. This man is famous for a lot of things. Like, I think so much that it's not even worth going through. Yeah, this man has done a lot. Okay. Well, moving on then. Alright, this is Sengoku Busho Retsudan Bakufu Doji Hisatsuman. It took me more time to say the name of this goddamn anime than it did to read the synopsis. Okay. This is Tonari no Tokoro. This is based on an original story by famous Japanese comedian George Tokoro. I have heard of George Tokoro. I have never heard this story, I'm sure. I think the dumbest anime gang I can think of is the Pantyhose Girls. Of course, it was Go Guy who came. Yeah, I remember the Pantyhose Girls. They were delightful. This is Furiten-kun 1990. This is continuation of everyday life adventures of the avid mahjong player Furiten-kun. Apparently, there was a recent... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we read this in 1981. Yeah. I like this is about a mahjong player, but the promotional image is this guy just putting... is a guy putting a fucking stethoscope on a woman's tit. Delinquent and Drag is actually painful to watch. I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, it was bad, but, like, it was kind of fun bad. This is Versailles no Bara Seimei Aru Kagari Ashite. This is a theatrical re-edit summary of the TV series. Some of the voice actors were changed. Oscar is played by Kaiko Toda instead of reusing the original audio by Reiko Tajima. So Rose of Versailles is legitimately one of the best anime I have ever watched. But the thing is, I don't think I would watch a re-edited summary of the TV series that lasts an hour and 30 minutes. I think I would just rewatch Rose of Versailles. Okay, on to Ona Senshi Efe and Jira Gude no Mansho, which is Gude Crest, the emblem of Gude. Two partners, Ephira and Gilora, escape from a slave boat with the aid of their friend Orlin and a young boy named Keelan. When Keelan is killed in the escape, Ephra and Gilora take it upon themselves to return Keelan's pendant to his two siblings who are being held captive by Baron Keldion, who is plotting to take over all the neighboring countries. Huh. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. That sounds kind of okay. What's our genres? Adventure, fantasy, light novel? That's not bad. That's not bad. You know what? I have a good feeling. I'll watch that. I'd watch that shit. Can't say I won't watch that shit. I'll watch that shit. I'll make a fucking review of it tomorrow. I won't. Don't hold me to that. This is Hashiri Shiroi Okami. I probably should have held the O longer, but really, who gives a fuck, right? What do I think Gonagai does to come up with this stuff? I think what Gonagai did... Is Gonagai still alive? He can't be, right? He's got to be like 800 years old. I think what Gonagai does to come up with this shit is I think he's sitting around, and I think the real answer. The real answer is I think he's just sitting around and he thinks of something and he'd be like, I bet that'd be funny as fuck. Like that's or he's joking around with his friends and is like, I bet that'd be funny as fuck. Right? That's probably the real answer. If I had to come up with a joke answer, cocaine. There you go. A boy named Lisette, who lives in a farm in rural northern U.S., makes a perilous trek through the wilderness to the sanctuary of 300 miles to the north to save the life of a gray wolf that is raised from a puppy after an incident, in which the wolf kills the family dog. That doesn't sound anything at all. That's how Kaneko Kamen was made. Yeah, is Gonagai still alive? I would like people, please. Have I misspelled Gonagai's name? I have. It's Nagai. There we go. You still alive? Gonagai? Gonagai, you still alive? I think he's still alive. It doesn't have a death date. 1945. Yeah. Nice, he's still alive. Good for you, you fucking legend. Alright. Gonagai promised it as a joke to his editor, but his editor liked it and it became a monk. Look, there weren't very high standards back then, okay? This is Kuro ga Ita Natsu. Hiroshima, summer of 1945. A young girl named Nobuko saves a starving kitten from crows. She wants to keep the kitten, but her parents dismiss the idea. Nobuko eventually convinces them to let her keep it. She and her brother Makoto name the cat Kuro. Kuro quickly brings joy and laughter to the family. As World War II takes its toll on Japan, it becomes harder and harder for Nobuko and her family to care for Kuro. One August morning, Kuro begins acting strangely. Is this just a fucking anime dedicated to making you feel bad that fucking Hiroshima got nuked? Is that it? That's it, isn't it? It's just like, boom, the bomb was really bad. Raw. I'm surprised we're still... Oh, yeah, no, because this bleeds in from the 80s, right? Because there was a lot of, 80s, anti-bomb sentiments. Basically, there was, a whole period where they were like, fucking nuke bad, feel bad for Hiroshima. Looks like Barefoot Gen was real. Barefoot Gen was just one of many things that came out with the premise during that time period. Okay, yeah, nuke is bad. Alright, we can acknowledge nuke is bad, but the way Japan portrays history is as if they were all just minding their own business and they were a peaceful country, and then big mean America dropped a fucking bomb on them. When in reality, Japan's actions during World War II were so fucking awful that there is a statue dedicated to a Nazi doctor in China because the Nazi doctor tried to get Japan to chill the fuck out. And it is worth noting that before the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, America asked for the surrender of Japan, told civilians to leave, and that we had a bomb that was about to blow up the city. And they chose to ignore, one, the surrender request, and two, to leave the fucking city. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that the nuclear bomb was a required use of force, but what I am saying is it certainly ended the war pretty damn quickly after that. Yes, acknowledgement. It is horrible, the amount of people that died. And yes, nuclear weapon usage is a war crime, right? There's no excusing how awful the bomb was. I want to be clear about this, right? Everyone knows it was awful, it was horrible, it did a lot of damage, it killed a lot of innocent people, right? But the way it is portrayed in media, even American media, makes it seem like we just, big mean America nuked Japan out of nowhere. and not like there was actual thought leading up to the idea. Like, it didn't... World War II didn't happen in a vacuum. Now, there is a debate about... There is a legitimate debate you could have. I like Japan's portrayal of Americans. Oh, God. Well, I also love that portrayal of Americans. That's fucking awesome. I'd watch a movie about this guy. But no, I mean, like, there is a legitimate debate on whether the nuclear bombs were required, right? Like, because America could have won without the use of nuclear weapons. And so there is a debate on whether the usage of nuclear weapons was required to end World War II in a timely manner, right? Would it have been more efficient to keep throwing men into a meat grinder and letting them duke it out with a Japanese military that literally refuses to surrender despite obviously having already lost the war? Or is it more efficient to just drop 2 fucking bombs and declare it done? Right? And I'm not here to argue whether the bombs were required. Technically, the bombs were not required. But I'm not here to argue whether logistically less people would have died had the war continued or not. Because I actually don't know those numbers, right? Like, but what I'm saying is, like, World War II did not happen in a vacuum. And Japan loves to portray itself as, like, oh, we were innocent minding our own business. No, you fucking weren't. No, you fucking weren't. You were on the same side as the Nazis and were worse than Nazis. A lot of what we know about treating burns and like how burns function and how hypothermia functions was discovered from Japanese doctors committing war crimes on like Korean and Chinese prisoners. Like, a lot about how we know about how people die in extreme temperature situations comes from horrible human experimentation on the Japanese side. Like, so they weren't, it wasn't innocent. It was not innocent. Like, the bomb could be justified. I'm not here to justify it. I'm not saying it is justified because it's an ethics debate and, like, a logistics thing, but, like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, alright? I think SMT4 is the only game in the series where zombies are recruitable. There's probably some, like, depending on, like, outright zombies, maybe, sure. There might be some debate on, like, what type of undead qualifies as a zombie. I don't know. Anyway, Heavy. Guy, a karate expert in New York slum, is trained boxing champion by the cancer-stricken doctor and a transvestite suffering from AIDS, based on a manga by Motoko Murakami. Is transvestite... Is that Patriot is a zombie, but I think you can also get, like, zombie cops and stuff. Is transvestite something... Is that, like, has that fallen out of gauche? Is that offensive now? Or is that still an acceptable term? Here we go. Is it derogatory? It is outdated and derogatory. Good to know. Well, I'm just reading and asking questions. It's outdated, yes. Okay, see. Hey, I double-checked, right? I double-checked. Look, I'm just reading it. I'm not signing off on the wording. I'm just read the page, all right? Don't hate me. I don't support the language. That's why I looked it up. This is Parin Monogatari movie. Movie version of the TV series Parin Monogatari. Which I read about in 1970. No, yeah, Patriot's a fucking awesome design. I love the flag. There's a lot of tying it in together. And also, George Romero, I believe, is American, right? So it does make sense that the American person, that the most American persona is a zombie. Or, am I wrong about that? I might be wrong. I might be off base. Is he Italian? He's an American-Canadian filmmaker. What the fuck does American-Canadian mean? Is he American or is he Canadian? He was born in New York. We get to claim him. We get to claim him. He was born in America. Okay. This is Makuro na Obento. On the 6th of August, 1940... fucking goddamn it! An atomic bomb was dropped on the city of Hiroshima. Really, was it? A young boy, Shigeru, left home for his job as a building excavator that morning, carrying a bento made by his mother, only to never return home again. Before long, his mother managed to find Shigeru's remains, and she noticed the completely black and carbonized bento box next to them. This is an anime adaptation of the original book Makoro na Obento, The Charred Lunchbox, written by Kotama Tatsuhiro and illustrated by Kitijimi Shinpei. The bento box that becomes the focus of the story is actually on display in Hiroshima Peace Memorial. See, okay, that's actually interesting that the bento box still exists, alright? Now see, that's fun. Alright, I take back the word fun. That is interesting. I don't think it would be appropriate to call it fun. This is Midoriyama Koko Koshien Hen Movie. This is a compilation of episodes 1 through 4 of the OVA, which I read about in 1889. 1889. I read about it in 1889. Atlas labels all zombies under the American mythology and popular culture. Sick. Hurricane Live. Why have I heard about this? Oh, you're right. This is a music video of Bubblegum Crisis. Yeah. Hurricane Live 2033. More music of Bubblegum Crisis spotlights the music that helped make the 80s series Bubblegum Crisis the popular early piece of anime that it's become. Bubblegum Crisis, soundtrack is actually a banger, by the way. Excuse me. I don't know if I remember if I mentioned that in my review. Even zombie soldiers who are very obviously JSDF. My guess is because they use Romero-style zombies. Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, no, honestly, it would make sense, though, right? Because it's basically like an Americanized portrayal of a Japanese soldier, right? So I guess classifying it under American mythology and popular culture. Look, we gotta have some... Look, I'm gonna be honest. Outside of, like, Native American mythology, we don't have much, okay? We got zombies and Mothman, I think. And Hellbiker. We have zombies, Mothman, and Hellbiker, alright? That's all we got. The hard rock songs of Pris and the Replicants are played amidst a video montage of the series' most exciting action scenes, and rarely seen live footage from the musicians themselves is also included. This is Heisei no Cinderella Kiko-sama Monogatari. This special is confined to the wedding of Prince Akashino and his chosen Kiko Kawashima. That's cool. I don't know what any of that means. This is Koryu Densetsu Vilgast PV. American mythology and popular culture is mostly zombies, Native American spirits, cryptids, and H.P. Lovecraft. I forgot we had Lovecraft. You know what? Good for us, America. We did it. This is Armed Dragon Fantasy Vilgust promotional video. Why have I heard of Armed Dragon Fantasy? Is it like some game? It's some game. Is it a famous game? 4-minute promotional anime featuring super deformed version of the main characters of Vilgust video game series, shown in TV Tokyo in 1990, released 2 years before Koryu Densetsu Vilgust OVA. Why have I heard of Armed Dragon Fantasy Vilgust? Is it famous for something? Is this like a game people know about? I think one exception is Pele, but one could argue Pele goes under Native American. Yeah. I don't... What actually, this is an interesting debate, right? Like, what qualifies a Native American? Because we annexed Hawaii, right? So... Did Hawaii retroactively become Native American? Okay, actually, yes. Native Hawaiian is well, no. Okay, so Native Hawaiian is separate from American Indian. Yeah, so there's American Indian, Alaskan Native, Native Hawaiian, and other Pacific Islanders, at least according to this chart here, right? So it seems like Native Hawaiian is its own separate category, but is still considered an indigenous population. So if you had to put it in a box, I don't think it would be. I don't think Pele would be a horrible thing to put in a Native American box. Fucking chemtrail. We do not own chemtrails. God damn it. Armed Dragon Legend Vilgast. I want the game. When I'm looking up Vilgast, the only thing I can get on this is like ROM hacking websites. So it's possible Vilgast wasn't released in English. So I don't know why I've heard of Vilgast. I have heard of Vilgast for some reason, but I don't know why I have heard of this. How about Oregon Ghost from Devil Summoner? It's apparently based on some crazy ass pseudoscience. So sounds like the Oregon Ghost is American. This is no, it would be Obatalion. Obatalion. The pejorative word Obatalion is a pun between Japanese word Obasan and the English word battalion. Oh, I thought it was from Obasan and Italian. Obatalion are known always enter a training run. Obatalion are known to always enter a train running as fast as they can, bumping other people in order to catch a free seat before the others. They haggle things that aren't normally haggled, like grocery store produce. They are fearless and pitiless, just like a battalion of barbarians. The anime follows 6 stories of one such Obatalion and her wake of destruction. We like to call these people obnoxious, where I come from. Or Karens. I don't know who came up with Oregon Energy. I do not know. Ooh, this looks terrible. This is Robin Hood. Oh, by the way, we've moved on to summer. There seems to be less released in 1990 than there was in 1989, which I think is weird. There's also a couple of demons based on serial killers. Okay, all right. See, we got something going for us. Night Stalker and Torso. This is Robin Hood Die Boken, The Great Adventures of Robin Hood. A variant of Robin Hood in which all principal characters are teenagers. Were they not already? Several centuries ago in Nottingham County, a cruel and greedy baron by the name of Alwyn ordered the destruction of the Huntington's castle, from the fire of which Robin and his cousins Will, Winfred, and Barbara miraculously escaped. The youngsters sought shelter in Sherwood Forest, where, thanks to the wise guidance of a hermit known as Friar Tuck, they managed to face the difficulties of life in the wilderness as well as they could. However, in the forest there lived a fearless group of young bandits led by Little John. Their first encounter with Robin and his cousins was at first rather stormy, and the two groups fought for the destiny of a young, noble maiden named Marion, who had fallen into the hands of bandits during an ambush. This is just the plot of Robin Hood. Their bitterness, however, rapidly led the way to friendship, and Robin and John later realized they were all victims of the same fate. The youngsters thus mutually decided to help one another. Baron Elwain, I have not seen Robin Hood, was not merely enemy of the Huntingtons. In fact, a couple of years earlier, he had forced Little John and his gang to seek protection in the forest to avoid forced labor. He would later seek Marion Lancaster for the secret carved on a cross of the girl wore as a symbol of her family line. The girl was to be adopted by the shady Bishop Herford, Alwine's accomplice, who sought to obtain the Lancasters' wealth with all their strength. Robin and his friends were then compelled to fight against the Baron's troops, led by Gilbert, a dangerous and fearless knight. When Winfred and Marion were imprisoned in the castle's dungeons. Our heroes tried in every which way to enter until their ardor was finally rewarded with success. Thanks to his noble heart and head for danger, Robin became rapidly known as the protector of the poor and the oppressed, beloved and highly esteemed not only by the villagers, but also and especially by the sweet and beautiful Marian. He was the boy who never parted from his loyal magical bow, endlessly engaged in dangerous and unthinkable missions. I feel like I have just watched the entire TV show. I feel like I just watched it. Japan was going into a recession in 1990. That is true, but it was also I believe it was already in a recession in 1989, and there's still, well, okay, I guess going in, it is possible that the productions of the animes that were produced as far as like 89 were already in productions pre-recession. So it's possible that like we've reached the point where like everything that was in production before the recession has been made now and been released, and now we're getting into the shit where it's like, okay, now no one has more money, so like the well's starting to dry up. Which honestly, thank God, because there was like a billion things released in 89. It was fucking endless. This is Narara Superboard. As punishment for causing havoc in heaven, Sono Gong is locked in a huge iron mask for 500 years until Samjong Bupsa. I'm sorry, I literally cannot read this. Embarking on a mission to rid the world of evil and spread peace throughout the land, rescues him. Sono Gong becomes Samjang's disciple. He meets Sao Jung, who enviously eyes Sono Gong's amazing superboard, and a brute swine oil seller, Joe Palye. After several twists and turns, they join Samjung's journey wherever they go, and they meet overwhelming enemies and get into trouble, but they don't get frustrated and find ingenious ways to defeat monsters. There is absolutely no fucking way. There is no fucking way this is Japanese. This looks, dare I say, Korean? KBS? Korean Broadcasting Station? No? Am I wrong? I might be wrong. I would say KBS, Korean Broadcasting Station. Korean Broadcasting System. I knew it. I knew that was fucking Korean. It didn't sound Chinese. It sure as fuck wasn't Japanese. Alright, moving on. 80 place, Captain Tsubasa, Eiko versus Project Eiko on Civil Wars. Eiko and Biko are bounty hunters in an untamed world, but a young heiress, Seiko, gotta love these names, falls out of the sky and into their hair. They find themselves battling space pirates and galactic police. Turns out the high-pitched, hungry Seiko holds a secret, the spirit of the ancient evil, and is in the center of a plot to destroy the universe. The worst thing to come. Is this the worst OVA? Alright. Moving on to 2 episodes, 51 minutes. This is 1919. 19-year-old Kubota is ready to find a girlfriend, and then World War II ends. The perfect chance arises when he meets, Masana Fujisaka, his first love, in a club. She's just broken up about her longtime boyfriend and is surprised to run into Kabata, who sees this perfect opportunity has just arisen. This is apparently about a 19-year-old boy trying to catch a girl on the rebound. Good for him. Hope it works out for them. It's some random extra bullshit with no connection to the original series. Huh. Let's see. Kaido Senshi SD Gundam MK4. Mobile Suit SD Gundam MK4. The ST Gundams are added again, first with a race among all prior ST Gundam characters, then the ST Zeons run a space travel agency in the second episode. Okay. That sounds genuinely bad. I don't have to read Ixer 3 because I already reviewed it. Ricky O2, Hirobi no Ko. Ricky O2, the Child of Destruction. Child of Destruction is a secret to the Ricky O OVA, Wall of Hell. I need to watch this at some point. Child of Destruction tells us more of Ricky's past as we flash back to his childhood to learn the terrible fate of his mother and how he himself was taken away from his twin brother Nachi during a game of hide and seek, with Nachi's plaintive cry of "Are you ready yet?" haunting him through the years. Ricky is six-pointed star. Does really? Emblazoned on his hand. Willie Nachi has a swastika. Has a swastika on his. The significance of goes unexplained. Ricky finds himself in the town of Misaki, dotted with illegal nuclear power plants and run by religious fanatic military organization called God's Judgment. Can we talk for a second? Nuclear power plants are so efficient in their energy usage that I, for the life of me, cannot figure why a town would require multiple of them. What are you doing with all of this energy? Yeah, you're better off watching the movie. Nuclear power plants are the most efficient energy source on the planet. What do you need multiple... A fucking nuclear power plant can, provide energy for a sizable portion of a country, depending on the size of a country, right? You shouldn't need multiple nuclear power plants around a single town. Unless you're firing fucking lasers or you have, a Hadron Collider. What the fuck do you need all that energy for? Sack, they're storing it in batteries for the apocalypse. It makes perfect sense. They need enough energy to last for 72,000 years. He is taken prisoner and made to fight gladiatorial matches in a sprawling arena. He finds his brother, whose special powers have given him the name Savior, but his reunion with his resentful siblings turns sour rather quickly. Part 2 is much gorier than Part 1, with Ricky smashing his fists into numerous soldier opponents with far less restraint. Nuclear power plants get a lot of flack because of big oil slander campaigns and The Simpsons. But here is a fun fact. Across all forms of energy harvesting, including solar and including wind, nuclear power plants have the smallest death toll of all of them. I think that might be year to year, but it might also be of all time. Nuclear power plants kill less people than wind and solar. The only issue is if a nuclear power plant goes wrong, it goes really wrong. But if you have looked into the history of nuclear power plants, every major catastrophe, except for, I think, one of them, which was caused by an earthquake, related to a nuclear meltdown, was caused by absolutely disgusting levels of negligence. It's not the power plant's fault, it's that the people in charge of the power plant were fucking incompetent. And in recent years, a lot more safety precautions have come into the mixture. It's just a general, overall, safer process. And even the most recent high-profile meltdown, which happened as a result of a tsunami hitting Japan, all of the damage that power plant had caused has already been cleaned up. So, people think, meltdowns, they think, Chernobyl. But, in reality, a nuclear meltdown nowadays, you can clean it up in relatively quick amounts of time, right? I mean, it's still bad. You still wouldn't want a meltdown, but it's not the catastrophe it used to be. We have improved nuclear power plant technology vastly, and there is a reason most large countries are pivoting towards nuclear power over oil. Is just one, efficiency. It's more efficient. It's safer. It's very clean. And it provides a metric fuck ton of energy in place of like wind and solar. So wind and solar is like the cleanest, best energy, but it's also unreliable because solar panels can only draw energy during certain periods of the day, and you can't necessarily guarantee that the winds will blow all the time. So the ideal situation for solving global energy and moving into like a complete green energy would be a reliance on like wind and solar, and supplementing any additional energy by having countries have like a handful of nuclear power plants to like keep up the slack of the difference, right? Like nuclear for the foreseeable future should be included in basically every country's power system, but also should be, I think, supplemented with like wind and solar, just because there's less general risk of a meltdown, but also you don't need a lot of nuclear power plants. You only need a handful of them because they produce so much fucking energy. And there were a lot of safety concerns with like earlier nuclear power plants, but a lot of like radiation leaking has actually been cut out of nuclear power plants. So when you look at like cancer rates over nuclear power plant workers, the higher cancer rates are actually only found in people who have been working over plants over the course of like 20 years or so. Most modern like power plants have safety precautions to prevent the radiation leakages, and modern nuclear power plant workers generally do not undergo the same risks that their older compatriots have. Like if you work in a power plant today, you're probably not going to get cancer from the nuclear radiation coming from it. Where you find the higher cancer rates is actually in people who have had to deal with working in nuclear power over the course of like 20 years, who had to work in like the 90s and the 80s with a lot less safety precautions, where we had no fucking clue what we're doing. Like, it is a lot safer form of energy than people give it credit for, and I largely blame The Simpsons for that. Because the Springfield power plant is a fucking safety hazard and a half. And that is my Go Nuclear Today speech. You think your state is power? Oh, water is a wonderful power source. I forgot about water, actually. Thank you for bringing up. Water is great. Nuclear also kills less than water. It is the safest form of energy as far as overall death totals go. But yeah, water is a great source of energy, too. I did forget about water. I forgot that states have water. It is powered by water. Water's a good power source. Water's a good power source. I forgot. I straight forgot water existed. I was thinking like natural energies. I forgot the planet's like 70% water. People don't really talk about hydro plants nearly as often. We probably should. Cyclones in Wyoming confirmed. You caught me. Anyway, yeah, go nuclear. One of the first things they did when they re-released Street Fighter 2 was redesign Bison to look less like this guy. Oh, yeah, the guy from, yeah. I was gonna say the guy from, Doomed Megapolis, but no, yeah, I forgot he was like the Rikio guy. This is Transformers Zone. In the distant future, an evil entity known as Violinger resurrects 9 of the most feared generals in Destron history. While saving some inhabitants of the planet destroyed by these Destrons, Cybertron leader Victory Saber is seriously damaged. The leadership of Cybertron forces is passed on to the heroic robot Die-Atlas. Together with Sonic Bomber, Die-Atlas must protect a mysterious crystal on Earth known as the Zodiac from falling into the hands of Voylinger. Is Optimus Prime's Japanese name Victory Saber? Because I don't know how I feel about that, if that's true. What the fuck? That does not even look like a robot. This is Meinichi ga Nichiobi. Let's see. Yuma Takeshita is a cheerful lady who recently joined the police force of the Tawagoto precinct. When she was still a middle school student, she was saved from being hit by a truck thanks to a stranger. Several years later, she meets her savior once again while performing her first arrest attempt. He is a magician named Magician. I called him a magician. I don't know what that word means. Named Toru Ichidanji. And Yumi is charmed to finally meet him. As a police officer who is assigned to several odd tasks, she will keep asking for the help of the handy Toru. That sounds cute. That sounds cute. I like that. I'd watch that. That sounds cute. Tell me that doesn't sound cute. That sounds cute as fuck. What is this? What am I looking at? Have you ever been to Wyoming? What is that from? The Cannibal the Musical. Ah. This is Fuma no Kojiro Seikon Sensuhen. Hakao Gakuin used to be a prestigious high school and famous for martial arts. However, because its rival school, SACing, has been cowardly luring its superior students, Hakuo was going to decline. God, I can't fucking read all of a sudden. In order to recover from the situation, the actual principal of Hakuo, Hojo Himeko, sends Yagyu Ranko to Fuma village in search for the famous Fuma ninja clan for assistance. The leader of the Fuma sent to Kojiro to Hakuo. There he faces the notorious Yasha clan who fights for Seishin Second, led by Asuka Musashi. Soon, Kojiro's comrades arrive and an all-out ninja war postponed for 500 years begins between two clans. This sounds like complete fucking garbage. It's got a very, 80s art style, honestly. It's so 90s it looks 80s. You know what I'm saying? This is Kenosuke Sama. This is a comedy about an old-fashioned samurai living in modern-day Tokyo whose young son has to head out for an important date. This art style almost looks like Akira Toriyama. Hey! This is Hengen Taima Yako Kurara Mao Sendai Kokeshi Enka. Shoko and Maika Ogi are apparently two ordinary schoolgirls in pursuit of graduating and having fun. Shi-chan is more serious, while Mai-chan is more fun-loving. In reality, the two sisters are powerful exorcists from the Kurara Temple. Each holds half the power. Shi-chan can see the spirits, and Mai-chan can banish them. This is a spooky series with heavy emphasis on traditionally Japanese occult themes. I have definitely heard about this before, and I don't know why I've heard about this. Or I've seen something with this exact plotline, because it's so generic that it was impossible not to have. For some reason, I know what this is. There's an alternate version. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. This is an OVA adaptation of an anime that we read about in 1989. That's why. I was like, why does this, hit something for me? Wasn't me. I've never heard of it. No. I've heard of it. This is just called 100%. A pretty 22-year-old girl leaves university and gets her dream job as a TV newscaster, only to discover that her life is tough at the top. Adaptation of the young action manga by Machio Yanagisawa. This is Aito Ken no Camelot mangaka Mariana Time Slip Jiken, or Camelot, if you prefer. Marion meets beautiful boys in an SF fantasy based on medieval England. Well, we all love beautiful boys. Alright, moving on to Lemon Angel YJ Bon. I have heard of Lemon Angel before. Adaptation of Lemon Angel manga. It's related to Cream Lemon. That's why I know what this is. Fuck yes. Ooh! Ooh, I love how we've gotten into the 90s and like every single anime I'm like I have definitely heard of this before. We've done it. We hit my stride. This is Otsumatsu-kun Iyami wa Hitori Kaze no Naka. The hentai is Lemon Angel a hentai? No, it's an ecchi series. It's not a hentai, but it is R plus, so it's close to it. This is Osiyamatsu kun Iyami wa Hitori Kaze no Naka. This is a VHS released by Nippon Columbia. This is OL Kaizo Koza. I have definitely heard about this before. It's inspired by Drop Dead Stupid Office Ladies column in a monthly Gendai magazine. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this was related to that one guy. Yeah, alright. Moving on to Mado King Grand Zort Saigo no Magical Taisen. Cream Lemon is a hentai. That specific one was it? All right, you know what? Let's dive in. Let's dive into the Cream Lemon pile. This one right here is not Cream Lemon. Lemon Angel is not a hentai. Cream Lemon itself is a hentai. So it's not an adaptation of the hentai, it's an adaptation of the... It's an adaptation of a Cream Lemon side story called Cream Lemon Lemon Angel. So it's like a spin-off. It's a non-hentai spin-off of a hentai. Project Eiko was made by Cream Lemon people. Project Eiko was almost a hentai. Anyway, Mado King Grand Zord Saigo no Magical Taisen is... something. It is something. I love that the... I love that the abbreviation for this is S undercase N followed by MT. That's funny. All right, moving on to Tengai Makyo Jiraiya Oborohen. Based on the first Tengen Makyo game that initially came out in 1989 as one of the first titles for NEC's PC Engine CD-ROM. Cool. Awesome. I hear that my neighbors are fucking idling their goddamn car again. Stupid kids making out. Gebaku Dome Monogatari, an educational film about the A-bomb dome, which is currently at UNESCO World Heritage Site as a Hiroshima Peace Memorial. Okay. Alright. We've got Dragon Ball Z movie. A Dragon Ball Z movie also came... Two Dragon Ball Z movies came out in 1990? Because World's Strongest came out also. Tree of Might. A mysterious device crashes on Earth, causing a wildfire near where Gohan, Son, Kuririn, Bulma, and Oolong are camping. Unable to fully save the forest, they decide to use the Dragon Balls to restore it to its previous condition. A few days later, a group of unknown warriors plant a seed where the mysterious device had crashed, sprouting a colossal tree that destroys the forest and neighboring cities in the process. North Kaiao contacts Goku's son and tells him that this tree is the Shinseiju, a tree that absorbs all the nutrients in the planet and leaves it a barren wasteland, all while growing a mighty fruit capable of providing incredible power to anyone who eats it. After learning of this, Goku and his friends try to destroy the tree before it's too late, but that may prove to be more difficult than they had previously imagined. Pink Mizu Dorobu Ame Dorobu, Kenosuke-sama, and Dragon Ball Z Movie 3, Q, Marugoto, Chokesan were triple billed in theaters as part of the Akira Toriyama The World screening at Toei Anime Fair. Alright, moving on from Tree of Might. City Hunter Bay Wars. A new island resort has been built in Tokyo Bay, and it's run by one of the world's most powerful supercomputers. The City Hunter gang has been invited to the grand opening party, but only Miki and Kaori have gotten there. Soon, they and the rest of the partygoers are taken hostage by an exiled South American dictator called General Gilliam. Now it's up to Ryo and Umibozu to free the hostages and prevent Gilliam's daughter from using the supercomputer to launch a nuclear attack on the USA. Hey, City Hunter creators. Japan doesn't have nuclear missiles. They could build nuclear missiles tomorrow if they wanted to, but they do not currently have nuclear missiles. Okay. City Hunter Hyakuman Dollar no Inbo. City Hunter $1 Million Conspiracy. Beautiful American Emily O'Hara offers City Hunter Ryo Saiba and Kaori Mikimura $1 million to protect her from a man named Douglas. Ryo and Kaori take the job, but things are not quite what they seem. The real target just might be Ryo, but it's unclear who wants Saiba dead. This is E.G. I used air quotes, but then I realized I don't have my webcam on. Legendary boxer Kaijiro Akaji's second son, E.G., is a high school dropout and the world's worst rock guitarist. That is an accomplishment. I've heard some really bad rock guitar. Though his father and elder brother are both boxers, he hates the sport, but suddenly takes an interest in it when he meets local champion's little sister. This is a man who has decided to get punched in the face to win over a lady. This is Pink Mizu, Dorobo, Ame Dorobu, Pink Water Thieves, Rain Thieves. This is a cute art style, actually. This is like the cutest girl Toriyama has ever drawn. The plot is about a young girl named Pink who is abandoned in a desert who steals water from the Silver Company. That design is super fucking cute, actually. Look at that. That is the cutest fucking Toriyama design I've ever seen. That's fucking adorable. Ah! This is Tenjohen Utsu no Miko. This is the preschool of Utsu no Miko, which we talked about in 1989 and apparently didn't sound very good in 1989. So, we can move on from that to Kimu no Jujika. This is based on a novel by Noboru Wada. Cool, cool. Moving on, we get to Lupin III Hemingway paper no Nazo. Word is out that the Hemingway Papers, the newly discovered last novel by the great author, tells the hiding place of a buried treasure on a desolate Mediterranean island. Lupin sneaks onto the island where instead of treasure hunting, he finds himself embroiled in a violent struggle for power. To Lupin's surprise, his old buddies Jigen and Goemon are also in the fight for their own reasons. Marcus, the Merchant of Death, also lands on the island, accompanied by Fujiko, Lupin's greatest weakness, and followed by the police inspector, who is forever on Lupin's trail. So basically, everyone important is here. Just say the usual cast is up to no good. Alright, Ucho Senken Yamato pilot film. Battleship Yamato came out in like the 70s. The pilot film for Uchu Senken Yamato, it was created in August 1974. Oh, it wasn't released until the 90s. Weird. For Yamori Television executives, but released to the public 16 years later on the Ucho Senken Yamato LD box set. The pilot was included on later releases for DVD and Blu-ray, but they lacked certain sound and audio due to copyright issues that came about in the same time between the LD and the DVD and Blu-ray BD release. What the fuck is BD? What the fuck is what is a BD? LD is Laserdisc, right? What the fuck is a BD? Blu-ray disc? Oh, really? I've never seen it written like that. Thank you. It was like, BD, what? Fujiko Fujio Ano Mamoka. Sorry, let me try that. Fujio A. Why am I having trouble with this? Fujio Ano Mumako, which is based on a horror novel by Fujio A. Fujiko, who I have definitely heard of before. He's a pretty famous writer. Because you don't buy Blu-rays. I own more Blu-rays than I own DVDs, I think. I'm going to make that claim that I own more Blu-rays than I own DVDs. Not disc by disc, but I can count this right the fuck now. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay. I own 28 Blu-ray sets. These aren't individual discs, because I think I would have to pop these fuckers open in order to count the discs. But I own 28 Blu-ray sets. So now I'm going to count out the DVD sets. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I own 28 DVD sets, so it is actually exactly equal. I don't buy movies and discs because there's no reason to. There's no reason to. I can stream basically anything I want to. And I don't tend to rewatch stuff. So I will only usually buy a disc if it's one of my favorite things, or it's something I'm interested in showing people and I don't have a convenient way to do it, or if I pass it by and it is cheap as fucking dirt. Yeah, we'd be here for a while. No, you have a massive collection, but you also have less access to streaming than I do. Which is like the major reason I don't buy discs anymore, is because there's no reason to. While we're here, do I have napping? Because I want to start getting down my movies. So I want to make sure I have Napping Princess on my watch list, just so I remember I own a copy of this fucking movie. I found Napping Princess in a dollar store. Okay, I do have it. And I have purchased this movie for $1 at the same time because I found a Blu-ray of Anchorman. And I always heard that movie was good. It wasn't. And I had a DVD of Napping Princess. They were both going for $1. And I'm like, I own $2. So I bought Anchorman and Napping Princess. And I have since watched Anchorman, but I have not watched Napping Princess. So I want to make sure I actually have this on my watch list now that I own a copy of this, and I've just never watched this. Napping Princess is a movie I watched. I have heard it is certainly one of the movies that has been made. But yeah, I own a copy of it, like on DVD, which is rare for me, and I have never watched this movie. So I'm planning to start watching more movies just to get my watch list down, because my watch list is probably going to be hitting 800 soon, and I want to get that shit down, right? So I'm going to start watching a lot of my short shit just to get it off the list. This is Motto King Grand Zort Nonstop Robbie. I considered doing another 101 challenge, and then I was like, that's fucking stupid. Don't do that. And then I was like, but what if I do a 202 challenge, which would be 200 anime in 2 months? And then I looked at my watch later list and realized I don't have 200 short anime on my list, and so that challenge would be impossible. I upgrade from a bad idea that would be too time intensive to an idea I literally can't do. Anyway, yeah, this is Motto King Grandsort Nonstop Robbie, which is a special 30-minute finale to the TV series. Keto Senshi SD Gundam MK14 Special. I will say, when I watched 100 anime in 1 month, I realized that I could not do it. I did not have enough time in the day. I had other things I needed to do. I needed to go out. I needed to shop. I needed to go to work. So I could not physically have enough time to watch more than 100. And like I could watch over 100, but like I realized like functionally there was not enough time in my day to like watch like 200 anime in a month. But if someone had nothing going on, right? They had no responsibilities. I believe it is possible to watch 200 anime in a month. I believe someone can do it. My friend keeps trying to get me to watch Haikyuu. I hear it's really good. I have not seen it. It is one of those things that I'm like vaguely interested. In fact, hang on. Do I have Haikyuu here? I also in the first 3 seasons because he bought me them. Oh, that was nice. One of my friends on Mal is a big Haikyuu fan. Here, I'll throw it on here. You know what else I want to throw on here? I want to throw on Dragon Ball Basketball. What is it called? Kokoro Basket? Here. I realized, starting with, like, Welcome to the Ballroom, but, like, going into other sports anime, that I actually really like sports anime, because the biggest problem is I recently get more into Renma 1/2, and I have a lot more drawn to Renma, even though I've already seen Renma. No, that's fair. I realize I like sports anime, because the fun thing about sports anime, right, is that they're playing a sport, right? So if you lose in like a shonen battle series, right? If Naruto loses a fight, he's dead, right? So you have this inherent knowledge that Naruto has to win, right? It becomes a question of like, how does this happen, right? But in a sports anime like Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket, there's no safety net, because ultimately, if someone loses a game of basketball, it does not matter. Like, their life will continue, the show will continue, and so it creates this, like, level of tension that exists only in shows with no actual consequences for failure, where you're rooting for the characters because you want to see them succeed, but because there is a chance of failure that does not exist in other, like, more violent genres, sports anime ends up, like, achieving these, like, level of tension because you genuinely do not know if they will win or not. One thing I remember about Haikyuu's first season, it's like Rocky, they lose, in the end I was actually really happy they lost because I assumed they would win. Yeah, see, that's a cool thing about sports anime, right? Like in a battle series, the main character cannot lose. They just can't, right? And if they do lose, then they die, and if they die, you know there's gonna be some bullshit to justify them coming back, right? If you lose in a sports game, you just play in the next sports game, right? Fucking time goes on, right? And losing in a sports show is actually great because it lets the characters like sort of like start being like, okay, we need to improve on this, right? So they have to get their game faces on and go into their training montages. But if they do win, then they get to go on to like the other challenges. So it's like so open-ended that it can go in either direction. So like sports anime are actually really cool in that area. I'm realizing that there are like some genres that I writ off and maybe I shouldn't have, because there might be more to them than I thought. Like, sports anime is a big one, and I realized in Attack on Titan Season 1 that I really like military dramas, which is why you will see, if you look at my Attack on Titan ratings, my favorite Attack on Titan season is 1, and then my ratings go down from there. Because after season 1, Attack on Titan stops being a military drama and just becomes people fighting with giant flesh monsters. And I find that so much less interesting than Eren getting court-martialed and having to defend himself in court. This is kind of an GSD Gundam Mark IV Special. Alright, we've moved on to the final season, which is Fall 1990. The thing about Tanya the Evil is a really weird military drama about an angry guy reincarnating into a little girl that somehow got into the army. Well, he got recruited into the army, because he is the only one capable of using the specific, like, experimental magical device. Tanya has a really high magical, like, Tanya can use a shit ton of magic. And he is the only one capable of using the experimental pendant that, like, utilizes the magic. So it's sort of like Tanya is a humanoid weapon, basically, is the idea. And that was how Tanya was originally supposed to be, like, utilized until he sort of evolved into being, like, a military officer. And then it just sort of became like the cream rising to the top kind of thing. Like, number of successes over multiple military campaigns with a lot of, like, respected by, like, military peers just naturally progresses Tanya towards the top. There's definitely some creative liberties that kind of don't make sense about, like, little blonde girl becomes, like, military officer. But, like, once you sort of, like, suspend your disbelief on, like, Tanya joining the military, Tanya rising to sort of being a sort of, like, mid-level officer, because Tanya's not a general or anything, right? Tanya's not, like, the head of the military. Tanya's, like, what is Tanya? Like a lieutenant or something? Like, once you suspend that level of disbelief, Tanya, like, rising a bit through the ranks is a lot more believable. You just kind of got to get over, like, the inertial hurdle. I read the novel, and that dude is just wanted an excuse to write military jargon and bullshit with a little girl with old-timey gun. And I'm fine with that. I liked Tanya Season 1. I still need to watch the movie where he fights Mary Sue. But yeah, I like Tanya. What was I going to say about Tanya? Yeah, here's the fun thing about Tanya. Tanya literally wrote the book on how to legally commit war crimes. And this is addressed in the show. So that's, yeah, delightful. This is magical, like, in-universe, obviously. This is magical I can do this. Magical Taruto-kun. Taruto-kun is a magical boy fighting and comedy TV show based on the manga by the same name by Tetsuya Egawa, which ran in Weekly Shonen Jump. Excuse me. Oh, really? Ran in the Big Boy. Excuse me. Let's see. 5th grader Edojo Honomaru is one of the most trodden upon losers in his class until he meets magical Taruto-kun. Taruto's power-ups help him deal with his hardships, such as girls, bullies, and numerous other challenges. Oh boy, this season has made seeing this. Oh, really? This is, so far, I don't see anything on this page I've even heard of. But I imagine it'll change once we get to the OVAs. This is Mitsume ga Toru. He is a little boy who has a terrible power. On his forehead is a third eye that, if open, releases extremely dangerous mystical energy that turns him into an evil sorcerer, bent on conquering the world and able to summon demons and wielding a red harpoon wand called Red Condor. To protect mankind from his terrible power, Shiraku is made to wear a bandage which seals his third eye. While his eye is sealed, Shiraku knows nothing of his true nature or his power. He does not remember his evil half's sinister attempts to conquer the world. This sounds so bad. All three things I've seen were OVA. I skipped over Pygmalion, I think. I did. Colt, the Prince of the Kingdom of Lune, is living a happy life with his father, King Stephen, and many retainers. He's cheerful, bright, tender-hearted, and gifted by the god Aganda. Colt's mother, Galatea, the daughter of Aganade, married King Stephen. However, Medusa, the daughter of the evil spirit, was envious of her happiness and turned her into a statue together with many villagers when Colt was still a babby. In order to save the other villagers, Stephen pledged allegiance to Medusa and was forced to promise to make Colt do the same on his 8th birthday. When the day arrives, Colt declares that he will defeat Medusa and revive people who return into statues. He sets out on a long journey to search for the daughter of the evil spirit. This definitely awakened some people to being furries. The Adventures of RPG Densetsu Hepoi. The Adventures of Hepoi, a hero of Heporus, Ryoto, the Prince of Dragonia, Milia, a fairy who looks like a cat, and Boon Zaemon, a merchant to defeat Dracanus, the king of the dark side castles. Sure. Alright. This is Karakuri Kengo Den Musashi Lord. Musashi, the samurai lord. It is the time of civil wars. Ipangu is a country where people live together with gimmick warriors, a kind of superhuman robot. I can't believe we're still doing Super Robo in 1990. Their people and gimmick warriors struggle to seize power. Musashi, a samurai gimmick warrior, departs to quest to become the best samurai warrior. Musashi thrives in a series of battles, encountering with many heroes and villains, including his lifelong rival Kojiro, an expert swordsman. Later, Musashi and Kojiro is sent by their general to escort the princess, a granddaughter of the general. The princess is spoiled and difficult, so their journey becomes a series of misadventures. Soon they're caught up in a battle to seize control of the country. It's weird that there had been an anime adaptation of, like, the story of Musashi, right? There's a manga about that, isn't it? Isn't that what's, like, Vanguard is about, or whatever it's called? Vagabond? Yeah, Vagabond, right? That's what Vagabond about. Vagabond is just about Musashi, right? How is there not a Vagabond? Yeah, Vagabond. How is there not a... also, didn't this author die recently? I think this author died recently. How is there not a Vagabond adaptation? Like, with the popularity of Vagabond, how have they not made a Vagabond anime? Oh, Vagabond ended in 2015. Oh, that actually ended a lot earlier than I thought. But I think the author died recently. Am I wrong about that? Eiji Yoshikawa died September 1962. That's... Okay. Okay. I'm clearly thinking of Takehiko Inoue because that other one made no sense. Did this guy die recently, or am I literally... I thought I'd heard that. This doesn't say he's dead, so he's probably still alive. So I don't know why I heard he died. But you know how sometimes you just hear people died and then they didn't really die. So maybe it's like that. Edoko Boy Gaten Tasuke. Tasuke is a student in a police academy, wanted to be a manager of the academy and arrest all the criminals in Edo City. Tasuke is still 11 years old, but he really wanted to get rid of criminals so the world will be a better place to stay in. Tasuke will have 3 other friends, Oman and the other 2. With them, they work together, and that is the start of a funny and sometimes serious adventure. Can't wait for Sack to get to Eureka 7 and Aldnoah 0. I can't believe we're doing Super Robots in 2020. I never even thought about it. But you are right, Eureka 7. By the way, I've already seen Eureka 7, so we won't be reading... I don't think we'll be reading the plot of that. Now, maybe... No, because I'm 90% sure I have reviewed Eureka 7. at some point. I am pretty sure I have reviewed Eureka 7, so I don't have to read the plot summary of that. But yeah, I never thought of Eureka 7 as a super... Is Eureka 7 a Super Robo series? I think that one's a little debatable. Right? Like, Nirvash is, like, kind of alive, but it's also kind of not. Like, it's about as alive as an Ava is, right? So I think that one's a little debatable. I heard it's an Evangelion clone. I mean, there are some similarities. I wouldn't call it an Evangelion clone, but there are definitely some similarities that I hadn't noticed until right now. I've never seen either of those, by the way. I've seen Eureka 7. I actually own the first volume of the Eureka 7 manga. It's a decent... Eureka 7 is decent. The Eureka 7 movie is dog shit. It's fucking trash. I've not seen Elden Noah Zero. It is been brought to my attention, though. Like, it is something I want to watch at some point, but I have not currently seen it. But yeah, I've seen it. I've seen Eureka 7 like twice. Hapayakyo... That was wrong. Hapya Kuyacho Hiyori Kawaishi. Speaking of things having connections to Evangelion Persona 3. In what way? Set in early 1990s Tokyo, it's a story about a makeup artist named Kosanba. All the women desire to have their makeup done by Kosamba because he's the best. And he also manages to get intertwined in the lives of many women and proceeds to work out their various problems. The tarot, shadows, and everything involving Ryoji? I don't know. I genuinely don't see it. I don't know where you're going for that, honestly. Sanchome no Yuki. The Ryoji stuff, even more Evangelion in, like, the P3 movies, because he's just Kaoru in that movie. I have not seen the movies. The only thing I have seen from the P3 movies are the scene where Makoto first summons his persona, and the scene... It's just a clip of Aigis peering over a corner with, like, the baby soundtrack going hard in the background. So I've seen, like, 2 clips from those movies. This is based on the same name slice of life manga by Seigen Ryohei. The plot takes place in a small community in post-war Tokyo. It follows the interweaving story threads of a number of communities' residents over the course of a single year as Tokyo Tower is being built. Peach Command Shin Momotaru Densetsu. Continuation of Momotaru Densetsu, which we've almost certainly read the plot of. Continuing TV shows. I feel like I forgot to read this. Did I forget to read this? Yeah, I forgot to read this. I think I was talking too much and forgot to read this. Alright, well, let's get this out of the way. This is Kurasu Tengu Kabuto. This actually came out in summer. I missed it somehow. 500 years ago, in the Tensho era of Japan, a young man was born who defied the will of a demon. A young man had gods of good on his side, a man destined to battle evil. His name is Kabuto. Somehow, Kuroyasya Doki, the vile night demon, escaped his prison in hell and returned to Earth plane to wreak vengeance in the family line Kabuto. None can escape his deadly magic and masterful skills with the blade. However, the gods of North, West, East, and South band together to help Kabuto stand for justice. With the questionable help of a diabolical talking sword that his own father forged, Kabuto may live another day to see his own sons born. Well, aren't we glad we went back and read the plot of such a good-sounding anime? That sounds fucking terrible. You've seen, if it was that, it actually started airing in summer, and I had to go back because I missed it. That sounds awful. Let's see, we've watched that. We did 80, please. Mamono Hunter Yoko is apparently something. It wasn't that. Okay. Devil Hunter Yoko. This has somehow been brought to my attention, and I don't know how. Yoko Mono is a regular girl who made her way through high school until she learns that she's the 108th successor in a line of warriors charged with defending Earth against demons. Eventually, she must fight her ultimate battle against the demon who started it all. I don't know how this came to my attention, because I already had this listed as plan to watch. So somehow this has fallen into my lap, and I don't even know. I'll know what you've seen. Well, I know you've seen Mad Bull, which we can skip over. This is the Kaido Kaisatsu Patlabor new OVA, which of course we reviewed Kaido Kaisatsu Patlabor on the podcast. Special Vehicles Division 2 is back on duty, along with their Ingram Patrol Labor, Patlabor, robots using their courage as well as their Ingrams. Captain Goto's motley crew of officers battle crime in Tokyo City. They also deal with their personal lives as well as the supernatural. Patlabor is a severely overrated series. The first Patlabor movie isn't even that widely regarded, is the thing about it. It's the second Patlabor movie. This movie, people like suck this movie's dick. They're like, oh, it's such a calm, well done portrayal of war. Like, this movie is fucking stupid and boring and up its own ass. All right, who made this? This was made by Mamoru Oshii, all right, which I think is all I need to say for you to understand why I am not a fan of this movie, all right? Mamoru Oshii is the most overrated anime director. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. All right? At least Miyazaki has talent. Oh, was it you? Were you the one who brought up Yoko? All right. Now that I have just pissed off a bunch of anime elitists, this is Hakkenden, the Hakkenden Legend of the Dog Warriors. During the blood-soaked feudal wars of Japan, the Awa clan faced certain extinction from a rival clan backed by demonic forces. Their clan's salvation became a curse when the family dog brings back the head of the enemy warlord, but insists upon marrying the lord's daughter. This unnatural union bears fruit, but they are killed, and their 8 unborn pups reincarnate as the 8 dog warriors, the Hakkenden. I just hit a button. Everything's okay. The Hakkenden, the 8 reincarnated souls, travel their separate paths of violence and retribution, but slowly they come together as a formidable group representing the 8 virtues of the Bushido to slay the demons and redeem the clan. Boo sack, I like Ghost in the Shell. So here's the thing. Ghost in the Shell is a totally serviceable movie, right? I'm not going to argue that. I don't think it's great. I think it's a very overrated movie. I think it's a very generic cyberpunk story that's been told a million times. But it is a serviceable film, and I will give him that. But what I will also say is 90% of what people praise about Ghost in the Shell did not fucking come from Mamoru Oshii, now did it? And when Mamoru Oshii had the chance to redo Ghost in the Shell, he pissed on it, didn't he? Didn't he turn it fucking yellow? Or did he turn it green? I think he turned it yellow, right? Am I making this up? He did do that. Yeah. Yeah, alternate version, Kohaku Kitodai. Yeah, he pissed on it. When he had the chance to make his own version of Ghost of the Shell, with more of his touch on it, he fucking took a piss on it. It was orange. See? Look, Miyazaki makes some boring fucking movies where nothing happens in them, right? But at least Miyazaki makes his boring fucking movies with intention. Mamoru Oshii is an overrated hack who's made one good movie and he's fucking coasted on it ever since. Compare your ratings between. Okay, sure, why not? Honestly, you can compare Mal's ratings 8.27 versus fucking 7.98. You gave this version a 4 and the original a 8. Yeah. So, like, when Mamoru did decide to put his fingers over it, he made it worse. Violence Jack's Hell's Windhen. I assume you've seen this. The survivors of Kanjo's Hell earthquake was built a new city and christened it Hope Town. Can't possibly imagine how that went. However, this peaceful town became a nightmare when it's raided by a motorcycle gang Hell's Wind. They abduct women while remaining townsfolk are left helpless against them. Meanwhile, the boy Subaro meets June. June's lover was previously murdered, and the duo help one another fight against Hell's Wind. The battles are getting more and more difficult, but with the appearance of Violence Jack, the citizens seem to gain the upper hand against Hell's Wind. Do I have Violence Jack on here? Oh, Violence Jack is a sequel to Devilman? What? What? Is it? What? Does it take place after... Well, no, because... Wait, is it a sequel to the Devilman anime? How does the Devilman anime end? Does Akira die at the end of the Devilman anime, too? Don't get excited. I wasn't. I wasn't that excited. I was like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, because I know the original anime adaptation is different than the manga, right? Because I think the idea of like humans live like what few humans remain living in like the like post-apocalyptic super demon world that's created at the end of Devilman, I think that could be an interesting idea. Go Nagai made a sequel just because the series was ending and he needed something to drum up in. So it's a marketing gimmick, so it has nothing to do with anything. Is that the idea though? Does it take place in like at the end of like Devilman after like the apocalypse hits and like it's just like what few humans remain in like demon world? The original 70s anime Akira dies in episode 1. What? Who the fuck is Devilman? Wait, what? In exchange for the purpose of mankind, his ability to love in human heart. After he becomes Devilman, Akira is no longer tied in human. So is he just like Devilman the whole? Well, okay, no, but I mean like, yeah, like Akira kind of dies in like actual Devilman anyway, right? When he gets like demon possessed, but like, is he like literally a separate character from that point on? Is it just like Devilman running around as like a superhero? I have not watched the original version. I hear I shouldn't. I hear it's like the worst possible version. Basically, it just randomly has Miki and Rio in bondage gear, and then it's revealed that Jack is a reincarnated Akira. So is Miki also not dead? Miki's Miki's the childhood friend slash almost girlfriend, right? Doesn't she die? I thought she died. Yeah, she's super dead, right? After her remains are buried, she's remembered by Akira and is alive and is alive in Violent Jack. So she just comes back somehow. Violent Jack is a sequel to the Devilman manga. Oh, okay. So I could watch it and still know what was happening. Then I don't need to watch the Devilman anime. I just need to watch the manga. But no, does she not die in the manga? So I could watch the Violent Jack OVA and understand it. Then is what you're saying. All right. Well, let's throw it on the list then. Basically, 70s Devilman is a strange case where it's actually the original and not the manga. Oh, interesting. Ranma 1/2, Neto Uta Gasen. I say this very rarely, but I'm going to put this out here. This is controversial. I've never actually seen Ranma 1/2. Excuse me. Half characters, as they appear to be having a music contest at a local TV station. As everybody knows, these characters can't get along for more than 3 minutes, and hilarity and hijinks ensue. Basically, Noda Guy has a series called Demon Lord Dante. Toei wanted to make an anime out of Demon Lord Dante. Okay. This is Shuranosuke Zanmaken Shikamamon no Otoko, or Sword for Truth. Shuranosuke Sakaki is a masterless samurai with a razor-sharp katana and a cold-hearted personality. Whenever you see a mark of 2 crossed scythes on his back, death is sure to follow. Because of his exceptional swordsmanship, Shuranosuke is hired by the Nakura clan to rescue Princess Mayu from the Seki ninjas. In this mission, he must use his full potential to survive the Seki ninjas' notorious henchmen. This sounds like the most generic goddamn 90s movie trash. I bet there's nudity, I bet there's blood and gore, I bet there's like samurais fighting quirky ninja bullshit. I bet this is like a Ninja Blade ripoff. And I was right, you've seen it. I've seen Sword of Truth. Go Nagai, those Demon Lord Dante was too violent for what Toei wanted, so they came up with Devilman, and Go Nagai wrote the manga to release alongside the anime, but Go Nagai being Go Nagai'd it. Yep. Okay. Right. Ugh. Mm. Vampire Senso is a movie that has come to my attention recently, and I will probably watch it soon. The rural American West is the setting for this OVA, in which a bizarre and brutal attack on NASA base in Arizona attracts the attention of French secret agent Monsieur Lasserre. When a dead CIA agent is found floating on the Siena in Paris, Lasserre is convinced that these two events are related and sets out to prove it. His investigation leads him to film star Lamia Vinda and a vampire cult that may be far more vicious and dangerous than its eccentric exterior makes it seem. Sword for Truth is bad. Yeah, you gave it a 3, apparently. That's a pretty bad score. That's a very low score. This is new Dream Hunter Rem, Yume no Kishitachi, which I think I have Dream Hunter Rem on here, right? Okay, yeah. Rem is an ordinary woman in our world, but in the world of dreams, she becomes a dream warrior, defending humanity from the evils there. When dream demons reach the waking world, she fights them with the help of her pets, which transform into a tiger and a wolf. It looked bad, to be fair. To be fair, I am not shocked at this information. This is Kaido Senshi SD Mark 5. The Warring States era SD Gundams are back to dispel evil spirits and an evil plot taking place in the ruins of Jaburose. This is Osu Karate Bu. Tadashi Matsushita has recently entered the Kansai 5th Technical High School and joined the notorious karate club. There he meets his captain, Yoshiyuki Takagi, an incredibly strong individual. Feared and respected throughout Osaka, Takagi is deep down an honorable and compassionate guy despite his violent endeavors. I believe that Kenny Lauderdale made a video about this, I think? I might be wrong about that, but I think he did. This is Maju Sensen. 13 scientists seek to tap the genetic potential by creating a hybrid of man and beast. Years later, 13 of their children are embroiled in a battle to undo their handiwork, while Shinichi, the son of one of the scientists, teams up with Christian super beings to save the world. You had me at Christian super beings. This is apparently an alternate version of a 2003 anime that looks god-awful. Holy shit. This poster is so much better looking than this poster. This art style looks very familiar. This is by Ken Ishikawa, who did Getter Robo. He's mostly famous for Getter Robo. I fucking assure you of that. He did this in Getter Robo. Oh, no. Here's manga. He did Neo Devilman. Yeah, his art style does look a lot like Gonagai. And renowned as the co-creator with Gonagai of the Getter Robo anime. Yeah, okay, that... he collapsed at a banquet after a day of golf and was rushed to the hospital where he's pronounced dead, according to his mentor, Gonagai. So, okay, so his art style... first off, rest in peace. But second off, his art style looked a lot like Gonagai. Oh, shit, it's Persona 6. Persona 6 has been announced, or that's a joke? Yeah, his art style looked a lot like Gonagai. So I was like, I bet that, like... The way I figured, I thought this guy was probably like Gonagai's assistant or something, right? And yeah, Gonagai's apprentice. That's gotta be fucking rough. Not being Gonagai's apprentice, but like Gonagai, you know, seeing like your apprentice die had like in a dinner with him. That's gotta be fucking rough. Persona 6 was announced back in 1990 with that plot. Oh really? Utsunomiko Heaven Chapter. Delving into the human spiritual journey to the celestial realm of the Buddha. There is no celestial realm of the Buddha. What? Utsunomiko follows 5 friends on their quest to bring peace to a corrupt and chaotic Earth. Christian super beings. Born with a horn, Utsunomiko found refuge on Mount Congo, where he studies to become God. But when ruling a hero government seems to bring only devastation to the people, Miko and his friends venture on a 33-year-old quest to reach the celestial realm and meet the almighty father of the North Star. Yet the way is filled with danger for 5 humans to intrude upon the world of immortals, where gods reign supreme. In order to reach their goal, Miko must first challenge them to a battle. However, they soon realize that gods, too, are not without flaws and earthly desires. And for Miko, the hope of rescuing his love, Kagami, leads to the realization that the world cannot exist without the balance of God's tumultuous souls, and the humans will survive and to love. For as one life ceases, another takes place, and only when there is true peace can people finally see the face of God. That's actually not a terrible plot. What was wrong with Utsunomiko that I didn't like it? Honestly, yeah, that's not a great plot. I can see why I passed on that. Yeah, that plot actually kind of sucks. Ellen isn't the only one with an Archangel persona now. Yeah, that plot actually does kind of suck. The sequel doesn't sound terrible, but the original one sounds not good. You know what? Let's mark down the original one. And we'll try and press into... Oh, actually, hold on. No, because this is a prequel, so it would be bop, 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 right? Yeah. Okay, this is Circuit no Okami 2 Modena no Ken. The Adventures of The Adventures of Ken Ferrari, a former racer and motor journalist with an appetite for women, based on a manga by Satoshi Ikezawa. What's going on? My name is Ken Ferrari. I drive a Honda Civic. Okay, this is Notary Matsutaro. A teenage school dropout finds new meaning in life when he discovers sumo wrestling. Heading off to Tokyo for bright lights and training with an aging master of the sport. I'm not a big sumo person. Um, I'm not a big sumo person. All right, I was gonna qualify that, but then I realized that the statement "I'm not a big sumo person" I think says everything I needed to. Super Real Mahjong Battle Scramble, Konran Teki Sento Mahjong, which I assume is based off of that Strip Mahjong PC game, right? Sequel of Super Real Mahjong. Mahjong player sisters Kasumi, Miki, and Shoko are sent back to the world where Mahjong tiles are currency. In order to return to their world, they must defeat Mahjong playing Rabbit, who rules the land. Damn you, Mahjong Rabbit! This is Ultraman Graffiti. A super deformed Ultraman shorts. Great, all we needed to know. Moving on. This is Shin Karate Jigoku Hen. A returning veteran and karateka. It would be karateka. Karateka. God, that's impossible to say. From World War II, starts working for the Yakuza, looking for a man strong enough to kill him. Have you tried gun? Have you tried a gun? After becoming karate champion, he joins an Italian woman who is looking for revenge against the Nazis who killed her family. What? What a weird plotline. This is about a Japanese karate master joining up with an Italian woman whose family got killed by the Nazis. Which are like, I'm not saying no Italian woman's family in World War II got killed by Nazis. I think that would be crazy. But I can't help but notice all three countries are Axis powers. So it just seems like a weird plotline, right? It seems like a strange way to go with that story. No, I'm aware that Nazis killed Italians. Italians killed Italians too, right? But who was it? Mussolini? Mussolini was actually killed by Italian forces. It seems like such a weird. It just seems weird. It seems weird. Yeah, Mussolini. Yeah. Execution by firing squad. Yeah, Mussolini was actually killed by Italian forces also. So yeah, I'm sure several Italian families got killed by Nazis. It just seems weird that they happen to choose three Axis powers. Ares Shinwa no Seizakyo, based on a shoujo manga by Fuyuki Rurika called Ares, which I think I've actually heard of. Granted, this is a movie, but Life is Beautiful is about Jewish Italians in World War II. Oh, yeah, no, that's a fair point. Yeah. Well, also, like, Mussolini was a horrible dictator, so. So yeah, like, the idea of, like, Italians being killed by the Nazis isn't, like, out of the question. It's just, like, it's a strange plot, right? You wouldn't typically think about, like a Japanese and Italian teaming up to take out a Nazi, right? Not in, like, World War II days. Nowadays, anyone can get can get behind taking out the Nazis. Because, let's be clear here, the Nazis are awful and no one should like the Nazis. If you like the Nazis, fuck you. But Fuyuki's modern-day adaptation of Greek mythology is about the love between Hades, the god of the underworld, and Persephone, the daughter of Demeter. The Greek gods and goddesses now assume human forms, but they can still retain their vast powers, all except for high school students. I'm sorry? What? Arisa, who for some reason is unable to remember her past incarnation as Persephone and her life with Hades, who in this present day is her classmate Amino. But the strength of their joint destinies is strong that even without those memories, Arisa falls in love with Amino, just like Persephone with Hades hundreds of years ago. But this time, Amino is determined that he will not lose Arisa like in the tragic past. He will protect her even if it means going against every mortal being, and will not yield her to Zeus, who wants to unlock the secret and the mysterious power of Persephone had, and then Arisa has now. Remember when certain people got mad at Wolfenstein? I don't, actually. What was that about? Interesting. Sounds like a bit of like a classic shoujo series. I've definitely heard of it before. I think I've heard of the manga, though. I seriously doubt I've heard of this anime. Shiawase no Katachi, Figures of Happiness, a gag anime based on a manga of the same name. We know less about the manga than we know about the anime. Delightful. Love to see it. Alright, this is Oyone to Matsan Ainouta. A story set in the countryside of Japan, two teens meet and slowly fall in love. Their relationship has difficulties developing as their father doesn't approve of the boy's request for hand in marriage, and part of the OVA features a karaoke-style songs with lyrics present on screen. Aw, cute. Alright, we've made it to the movies. Basically, ID made a Wolfenstein sequel set in an alternate reality where Nazis took over America, and BJ joins a secret group led by Black Panther Lady as they kill the Nazis. Yes, New Order. That game is actually pretty good. For the record, I played New Order. Kaze no Nawa Amnesia, a wind named Amnesia. 2 years ago, a mysterious wind swept over the earth without warning, taking everyone's memories with it. Not knowing their names or even how to speak, cars crashed, planes dropped from the sky, and society crumbled in an instant. One young man happens to wander into a military testing facility where he meets Johnny, a young boy who underwent experimental memory enhancement treatment and could therefore still remember who he was. Johnny names the young man Wataru and teaches him everything he can before his failed body fails. Wataru sets out a journey to see if he can find other people like him, and in San Francisco he meets a mysterious silver-haired woman named Sophia, who refuses to speak about her past. Sophia says that she's heading to New York and decides to travel together with Wataru. As the pair make their way across America, they learn what's happened to the rest of society and what the essence of humanity really is. This sounds interesting. The marketing was "Make America Nazi-free again," and well, people get mad at that. What? Who got upset about that? Trump supporters or Nazis? This actually sounds watchable. I'd watch this. I'm gonna watch this. Surprisingly, a large amount of people have seen this. Anyone I know? No one I know has seen this, but 2 people I know want to see this. Just Trump supporters? Okay. It would be Trump supporters that would get upset about denazing America. You'd think make America Nazi-free again would be absolutely, like, accepted by, like, 99% of the country. Conservatives who claimed ideas calling conservative Nazi. I'm going to say this. If you're a conservative and make America Nazi-free again somehow equates to you that you are being called a Nazi, maybe you should assess your values and see if you're actually a Nazi, right? Like, if I was a conservative and I heard if I was a Trump supporter, and I am not, That man is an idiot. But if I were a Trump supporter and I heard "Make America Nazi Free Again," I would not immediately assume I was being called a Nazi, right? That feels a little bit like projection. The real question is, why did you assume they're talking about you? Unless, yeah, exactly. I'm like, so, think thou dost protest too much. Chibi Maroko-chan movie. Chibi Maroko-chan is the nickname of a sweetly obnoxious 9-year-old girl. She tricks her grandfather, ponders for hours over how to spend her allowance, and hates sitting next to ugly boys. She talks, feels, and lives just as real kids do. As the second term commences, Mariko and her classmates return to their small groups. Mariko's group includes 2 naughty boys, and Mariko is forced to be one of their subordinates. She seems to face a lot of pressure at school. As the school's athletic meet approaches, all the classmates are busy exercising. Mariko is no exception. Although her laziness means that she is late sometimes, Mariko realizes that the 2 boys rival each other in everything they do, and that their relationship is deep and strong. That was so boring. I fucking tuned out on that. I don't even know what that was about. Okay, this is Aijin Senshi. In the far future of 2200, an interstellar war is held. The weapons most frequently used are psychic capabilities. The hero Zero, son of an Earthling and an extraterrestrial, the prince of the last surviving clan of magicians. He will fight against the army of the Manjidara Empire, whose forces are such as its head ambition to control the whole universe. Speaking of Wolfenstein, it's weird you can get Wolfenstein 3D on literally everything like you can with Doom. That is kind of weird. Although you can play the final level of Wolfenstein 3D in Wolfenstein New Order. Cho on Senshi Borgman Lover's Reign. I have heard of this before. I've heard of Borgman. Nobody I know has watched Borgman. So I don't know why I have heard of Borgman, but for the one with Mecha Hitler, yes. I think it's the last level. I'm pretty sure it's the last level. It's either the last level or the first level. Sonic Soldier Borgman Lover's Reign. The OVA series Sonic Soldier Borgman serves as a sequel to the 1980s television series about an elite squad of bio-enhanced crime-fighting humans known as Borgmen. Picking up several years after the desolation of the original Borgman team, this volume reunites the 3 remaining members, rocket scientist Ryo, his girlfriend Anise, and the police chief Chuck Swagger, for the emotionally driven episode Lover's Reign, which finds the trio facing an army of undead bent on rampage and murder and destruction. I've for sure heard of Borgman before, but for the life of me, I do not know why I have heard of Borgman. Oh, because it was a 1988 anime. Honestly, it sounds like a cool plot, but I just Chuck Swagger. Yes, I remember laughing about that when we did the 88 episode. Okay, this is... Anyway, I didn't want to watch it for a reason, so we're not going to watch it. This is Meteor Desawa. I'm going to be straight up. I don't know how to make a double T sound. Oh, no. You hold the T, right? So it's Tomae. 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 Yeah, it'd be Tomae. That's a hard fucking sound to make. There's a hard sound to make with my mouth. The second Taoist Mutol movie. Yeah, this is... Oh, it's Korean. Oh, this is Korean. So I probably definitely didn't say that right. If I had mispronounced that in Japanese, my Korean pronunciation was nowhere close. This is Senso ga Owata Natsuni, 1945, Karafuto. There's no synopsis about this, but it's centered around 1945, so I'm going to assume at some point Hiroshima gets blown the fuck up. This is Dragon Ball Z Special 1, Tata Hitori no Saishu Kassen. Dragon Ball Z, Bardock, the father of Goku. Bardock, Son Goku's father, is a low-ranking Saiyan soldier who is given the power to see the future by the last remaining alien on a planet he just destroyed. He witnesses the destruction of his race, and now he must do his best to stop Frieza's impending massacre. He was a terrible warrior, but a brilliant scientist. Also, he was the first Super Saiyan, and also, he used the Dragon Balls to wish that Goku would always prosper. Actually, he did it for both of his sons, if I recall, but that wish super didn't work for Raditz. I forgot Bardock as a character. I remember Lunch, but not Bardock. Bardock does not appear in the main series. I think he's only, like, tangentially canon, right? I think his only a canon appearance... I don't think his canon appearance occurred until Super, right? I don't think he appeared in the original Dragon Ball. I could be wrong about that, but I do not think, Bardock was in a canon, like, main timeline canon story until Super. Wait, is Bardock in... Yes, because he's in the Broly movie. Yeah, he is in the Broly movie. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think Bardock had a canon appearance until Super. Am I wrong about that? I don't think I'm wrong about that. Hold on, let's go to the Dragon Ball Wiki. Let's find out. I think I'm right. Alright, we have the Dragon Ball Wiki over here. No, that's the DBS manga, so that doesn't count. DBZ manga? Okay, hold on. His manga debut is in The Ultimate Battle Begins. He was in the manga! Oh, shit! Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. Frieza realizes Goku resembles Bardock. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I guess Bardock was always canon. Well, isn't that fun? Who knew? Anyway, I think Bardock was a cooler character before they made him a Super Saiyan. Alright. Kai Taketa's Dr. Slump Arale-chan special. This is the last episode, 243, and the fourth movie, The Treasures of Nanba Castle, with a wraparound plot of new material, including an older Turbo and the wedding of Tsukut's son, Akane. 91 has... I imagine I will have seen more and more as we get up in the years. Like, once we hit the 2000s, that's it. That's fucking game. Like, once we hit, like, 2003, it's fucking game over. Alright, yeah, that brings us to 1991. Now, my hope is that if Mal doesn't go down, next time we do SACing Mal Eternal, we'll be able to do all of 1991. But, realistically, as we go on through Eternal, we're going to get to a point where I simply cannot read an entire year's worth of anime. My guess is somewhere around 1995, there will simply be too much anime to read each season, so we're going to have to, like, in one stream, so we're probably going to have to go down to, like, 2 seasons, and then, like, as evidenced by the fact that, like, a single SACing Mal episode can last between, like, 1.5 to 3 hours, there will get to a point where Eternal will have to be 1 season per episode. again. Like it will be inevitably happen, and that will probably for sure that will have happened by, I would go so far as to say like 2009. By two, because like 2009 is when anime production really started ramping up. Um, so by 2009, it'll definitely be like Eternal will be, it'll be like one season per episode, and there won't be any way around it. But for now, we're gonna try and get through like 1 year at a time. I know we did like the 70s in one go, and like 80s were like 5 years, but like no, it's starting to become like an overwhelming amount of anime, and it's just gonna keep escalating. But anyway, yeah, that's good. That was a good stream. How long was that? 2 hours? I guess 2 hours. 2 hours 30 minutes. See, yeah, that was like most of a year, right? So anyway, yeah, we're gonna call the stream here. That's it. The next stream will not be SACing Mal. I just wanted to finish up the year. It felt wrong to not. The next stream is going, although I do want to do SACing Mal Eternal a lot more often in the future. It will be my goal, if I manage to keep this up, will be at least once a month there will be a SACing Mal Eternal stream. In the coming future. Maybe not this month, maybe like next month, right? Well, actually, it would be this month, right? Because I already did a stream this month, so there you go, I guess. But yeah, I do want to start doing it more frequently. But yeah, the next game we're doing is Tormented Souls. Now, I do want to make a correction, because I have been saying that the game after Tormented Souls is Assassin's Creed. And I'm wrong about that, because if we go to the queue... and we'll flip over here real quick. I've been saying it's Assassin's Creed. I'm fucking wrong. It is John's viewer request of Mega Man Battle Network. I forgot I had to do that game. I forgot I agreed to that. So actually, after Tormented Souls, I'm wrong. We're doing Mega Man Battle Network, and I actually can't get out of this. So, look forward to that, I guess. Anyway... God fucking damn it. Viewer request is the worst idea I ever had. Anyway. I heard Battle Network was bad. Yeah, well, I mean, what am I going to do, right? I didn't request it. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully everyone had a good time. I did. Plenty of funny, terrible anime we read about this time. You don't want to play Rido? I'm mixed on Rido. I'm skeptical. The combats, like the mechanics of that game, I'm interested in the story, and I like the aesthetics of Rido. I'm skeptical on whether I will like the actual, like, gameplay. Like, the gameplay seems like where Rido is going to lose me. But we'll see. What's the canon ending for Rido, by the way? I guess it wouldn't be... better than you complaining about the encounter rate. Oh, didn't you mention it has a really high encounter rate? What's the canon ending, by the way? What am I supposed to go for that? Does it matter? For the inevitable Rido 2 playthrough we all know will probably happen at some point. Like, is there like a canon ending? Is it like neutral? Is it law? Is it chaos? There's only one ending in Soulless Army? Okay, so I would just do whatever the fuck I feel like. Alright, perfect. Alright, great. Love to hear it. Yeah, right. Look, I'll say this. I'm more interested in playing Rido than I am fucking Battle Network. I'd rather do Rido than Battle Network. It's King Abaddon with multiple entities. I gotcha. Yeah. All right. What was I gonna say? I don't remember anymore. Anyway, yeah. Tormented Souls next, and then Mega Man Battle Network. Luckily, Battle Network's, like, short. I think it's, like, 12 hours or something. I don't know. We'll find out. But, yeah, hopefully everyone had a good time. 90s anime is fucking stupid. Actually, so is modern anime. All I know is Lucifer side quests lead to Rido cameo in SMT3. Oh, really? Interesting. So, wait, that's, like, canon? I always thought that was just, like, a dumb thing. I didn't realize that was, like, an actual... I didn't realize that was, like, canon to Rido. Anyway, ending the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Someone has been lurking. I'm not sure who. But anyway, yeah, I have been. Hopefully everyone had a good time. Sacrobelic, your envoy of hope. See you in Tormented Souls. Bye. Bye. It is a dumb thing, but they said that side quest leads there. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that is good to know then. That is, so I'll have to do that side quest, is what I'm hearing. Which one is this in? Is this in, is that side quest in, is that side quest in the first game or the second game? Second, and you have to be Chaos aligned. So what you're saying is I have to be a Chaos. Okay, got it. So second playthrough Chaos, first playthrough whatever I want. Perfect. Got it. Nailed it. All right. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone. I have to decide between Our Last Crusade and Chainsaw Man, and I'm leaning towards Chainsaw Man. I kind of just want to watch Chainsaw Man. I'm going to watch Chainsaw Man. I want to read Chainsaw Man. I hear Chainsaw Man's really good. I hear you got to read the manga. I'm thinking about reading the manga after the anime, but I want to watch the anime first. So yeah, wish me good luck, and bye bye. Oh, and my neck is actually slowly starting to feel better. There's still a little bit of tension, but it is getting better. I need to... You know what? No, fuck this. Hold on. We're 2 minutes, 29... we're 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 30 seconds into this stream. We're going to end at exactly 3 hours. So we're gonna hold off for 30 seconds. I'm gonna talk about nothing for 30 seconds. I'm just gonna be silent. I'm just not gonna talk. I'm just gonna fucking just shut my mouth. We're gonna sit here silently, nothing fucking happening for 30 fucking seconds until the stream ends at exactly fucking 2 hours 30 minutes. Right?